Right, episode 23. Kurt's doing his stuff with the editing tonight and I'm in the garage. It's Tuesday evening. Looking at my list of meetings, that's done. These two weekend just gone, they're done. So next one we got Eastbourne on the 26th, which is going to be the Wadam. So that needs to come over and get done. Right, so before I get on with the cars, I've got some issues with the key for the transit van. It's not working, the buttons are not working, opening the doors. So Kurt got a guy to sort us out a new key. He showed Kurt that it was working on his laptop. So he suggested that the problem's with the van, and generally it's the battery, auxiliary battery possibly, under the seat. There's two batteries apparently, and one of them, if that dies, then it causes the same problem, same issue. So I'm going to take the seat out and have a look, see what I can find with that, see if the battery's sitting there dead, and if so, I need to get one. So I'm going to crack on with that. Right, so the moral of that story is, if you've got a Mark 7 transit van and the key button stopped working, operating the central locking, then it's worth checking that front battery. It might not even be the battery, it might just be corrosion on the terminal, which is what it was in this case. So, and then it started working. Unfortunately, I had a new key made. At least he pointed me in the right direction to find the problem. So it's all good. I've got a spare key as well that works. Okay, so I've had a look at this one. The front bumper's looking pretty rough, so that needs doing. Need to put a seat and belts back in a transponder, check it over. Anyway, that's me for tonight. So there is one job I need to do before I go in the garage today, which is Wednesday. It's about 7:15. I need to take my van for a spin. On the way back from Mildenhall at the weekend, my engine management light came on a couple of times. Now I dropped it down to Sammy, the transit man, and he said there was no codes that he could read. While I was going along, it lost a little bit of power and I had to switch the ignition off and back on again to clear it, and I think I've cleared the code. Happened about 3 times probably on the way home. Anyway, so I'm going to take it for a spin up the motorway where there's a hill on the M40 and see if I can get it to trigger again. I've got myself a code reader, so if I can get it to do it, then I'm going to plug in and see what the code is, and then report back to Sammy and see if he can work out what the problem is. So here we go. Well, it's 5 to 8 now. I drove the van for an hour and the light didn't come on, so it's a bit of a waste of time, but I'm starting to wonder if it's something to do with the loose connection on the battery I found yesterday when I repaired the key. Anyway, let's do some stock cars.
It's Thursday and we're full steam ahead getting this Wadam ready for Eastbourne. Say Eastbourne is just 2 days before the Island Weekender. So we're going to race Wednesday, Thursday back at work, Friday off work, travel up there Friday, get there for 7:30, what is it, Friday night for the boat in Scotland. But until then, we have got plenty to do on the Wadam. I'm going to make a start now, cutting the front bumper off because it's a bit mash up after Ipswich. The joys of stock car racing. And of course I'm going to use the trusty plasma car and the 9-inch angle grinder. Let's do this. So that is the front bumper all cut off. That took, what's the time, Dad?
7:53.
53 minutes, roughly, give or take. Waiting for Dad to grab the camera, so save a couple of minutes. So, plasma, disc cutter, it's a good combination. And 90% of it was all safe.
Safe?
Yeah, probably the sledgehammer was probably the most dangerous bit. But I'm probably going to try and get a couple of bars on now, make a good start, ready for tomorrow. And hopefully get it finished tomorrow, but we'll see. I need to see what metal we got left as well. What metal we got, Papa?
3 lengths there.
Of?
1, 4, 2, 3, I think. Might be a little bit in the van.
2 lengths of 3mm there and a length of 4mm.
Got loads
So,
of 30 by 30. Can make it out 30 by 30.
Maybe not. So we've probably got just enough metal to get the bumper done, but we will need to put a metal order in ready for next week. I did lend some metal to Jack and that hasn't come back yet.
There's a race bit.
Yeah, you ain't going to be able to do that. I'd probably just sleeve it.
Well, you could put the plate,
What,
there's
3mm
some plate
plate?
there in between. You've got a clamp.
But you're still going to be higher, aren't you?
No, get that little bit of plate. Just slot it in there, just see.
Oh yeah, you're going to be higher.
I'm not talking about have it there. No, have it there.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you get a
Is that
clamp,
the 3mm?
yeah.
The one that we want to use?
Well, I'm not sure I like your attitude.
But this one's too long. Why don't we use the 4mm?
Well, cut it, dear Curtis.
Why don't we
dear
use
Curtis.
why don't we use the 4mm? That's definitely 4mm.
Run, dog.
Ronnie!
Run.
Ronnie!
Run.
Right, mate. Right, Fred, how you doing? When's the next Tebbz week yet? Fred, mate, come on. Where's the Tebbz week, mate?
Geezer.
Where's the biscuits? Ain't here, mate. Right. Well, my own eyes. I'm still on the plasma cutting setting. I've just done myself. Alright.
Good idea.
Right, this should be 85. 85. Bring it in to, yeah, hold it there.
Right, is this where you burned me?
No. Burn myself more than anything. That'll do us, Dad, because I need to get the chop saw out. I said that'll do us for tonight, because I need to get the chop saw out. Just to get all them cuts.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Do that tomorrow, it's getting a bit late, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I can't be able to get it out, to be fair.
Yeah.
So that is Thursday done and dusted. Bumper's been cut off. Made a start on the new one. So it didn't take long to cut it off at all, 50 minutes. And say that wasn't completely flat out, so I'll take that. Say that plasma cutter, anyone who doesn't have one, I strongly advise you to get one. Because, as you say, I would have gone for about, I don't know how many discs. Having them all blow up in my face as well, where all the metal's under tension, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, they cost a bit of money. Say our one's not the most powerful one, but it does the job. I've cut 10mm plate with it before, so as long as you keep the tips nice and fresh, then it's definitely a no-brainer. If you're in stock cars, go grab one, 100%. And it's a lot safer. So we did originally plan to take the Wadam to Eastbourne, which is why Dad said that earlier in the video. But also we did think about taking the Spitfire there as well, to save the Wadam ready for Ireland, to keep the Wadam in the best shape it can be for Ireland. Because if we have a big one at Eastbourne, then we're going to be rummaging around, obviously, to get the car ready for Ireland. So we're taking a risk here, but we know that the Wadam is proven and it is the fastest car we've got to take around Eastbourne at the minute. Unless we put a little bit of time into the Wadam, but I don't really want to be taking that risk with a couple of meetings to go till the end of the points chart as well. So me and Dad were umming and ahhing, Spitfire, Wadam, and then we did end up aiming for the Wadam and taking the risk of smashing it up before Eastbourne. But if it does get smashed up, then we could well take the Spitfire to Ireland, but we'll see. Anyway, that's the end of today. Hopefully I'll get to Dad's a decent time tomorrow and we can get that bumper finished.
So we're on Friday evening. It's 7:15. Today I went to work, finished about 2:30, went over to the yard, collected the seat and the harness out of the Corsa, come home, had a sleep, got up, a couple of chocolate biscuits and a coffee, which sets me up for the evening. While I was asleep, Kurt called and he's not over. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he said he's not over tonight anyway. He finished work late, so I would imagine, knowing him, he's not relaxing. He'd just be doing videos or something, doing the Kings Lynn video, putting that together. So I thought I'd come out and get all the noisy stuff done first. There's the Civic sitting there. That come off all right. That's the bumper he fitted while we was at Mildenhall. I think we can tidy that up. Maybe put a couple of extra bars in and then go over some of the welds, because the welder's good on the Jenny, but not as good as when you've got it plugged into the mains. So you definitely get nicer welds. That can go on charge. This I'm going to put in the drawer, which I bought that for me. Bought loads of stuff for me, and I don't know if I'm ever going to use it, but maybe one day. Well, looking at this piece, he's put a mark here, so I'm assuming that's the bottom part of the bumper. And now I've got the chop saw out. I'm going to cut these pieces. What I've done here, I've added this to my chop saw, so it cuts the same length piece of box section every time. I'll show you how it's done in a sec. So we set this piece at 0, so it's square. I made this to keep, this is like 80mm, and so is this piece that I made. So it keeps the box section in line. You're not cutting at an angle. So it's difficult to do this with one hand, but we put it butt up to this stop. I'm going to have to do it with my foot. Clamp it up, then I cut that piece and then move it forward, cut another piece. Well, it's 8:30 now. I've cut all the pieces and tacked them together roughly. When Kurt comes over, we'll do it together so it looks right. There's a few small issues. So the car's twisted a little bit. So this part has gone down, and we've firmed it up on the chassis leg that comes out from the bulkhead. So it's all solid, but it is down a little bit. So when we put this front piece on, the front bumper, it looks a little bit odd until it's all painted, just because of that little twist down. Over this side, we should have really done the whole bumper, but for what you get out of it, it's a lot of extra work. So over this side, this was down a bit as well, so I've put a cut in and raised that up to meet this part of the bumper. And this one, this bar is pushed in, so I'm going to have to cut this and then put a cut there and maybe pump it out to meet this. I'll probably put a new piece in at the bottom here anyway, and to meet this. And then when Kurt comes over, I think the bottom of this needs moving over a little bit because it looks odd. And then we'll stitch it all up and then put the supports in behind. Anyway, that's for another day. And also tomorrow, which will be Saturday, I'll put the seat and the belts in. And then there's just set up and gearing, really, and a bit of a paint job. So, be back tomorrow. In there. The cut's not straight. You can't, if you overhang it, it's going to be like that.
Yeah, it doesn't. So we get this one done first. This cut. Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Is it open still?
Yeah, I didn't try it. I didn't lock it. It's weird doing it with your phone. You feel like you have to hold the phone over to the side.
You have to look at this, yeah.
But if you hold it right in front of you, you're off screen right over here.
Yeah.
Just hold it.
And you have to look at the end of the phone, not the screen.
Yeah, there. That camera's a bit better than that. That'll do us for today. Oh, I've done it again. That'll do us for today. It took us a little bit longer because them little 30 by 30 bits that we put on the connector bits, where the chassis rail was slightly dipping, every time we put a new bumper on, it seems to get further and further down. So eventually this will need a front end rebuild from the bulkhead forward. It's just wear and tear of a stock car, really. It's going to happen over its lifetime, and it's had a pretty bad battering recently. But that's just... it's not even really many big ones. The biggest one was you at Eastbourne. You T-bone that matey. But it's going to happen over time.
I think so, 3 big ones in one meeting.
So it wasn't even me. Yeah. But yeah, it's just slowly, ever so slightly, every time we have put a new front bumper on, it seems to go that little bit lower. But say hopefully it's got, well, it will have a good few meetings left in it, and then once we think it's time, then the Wadam will probably be coming out full time for a little while when it's time to do that. So that'll do us for today. Saturday done. I might try pop over tomorrow at some point. I am working, but I might pop over after.
What pump?
Yeah, same.
It's facet, like we've got on these.
The little
I don't know what the code is. It's got to be a fast road one, because you would have been using loads of fuel around there. It didn't seem like it when I was topping it back up though.
No, neither cars around there really. It's a big track. There's only you look at my laps though. You was only getting 14 laps per race. Sunday, I'm here. Just finished work. It's 4 o'clock. We will finish this front bumper today, and I did remember my SD card, so I got a good camera. Which is not really facing me. What's going on? There you go. The Kings Lynn video I put out last night, and already it's got nearly 3,000 views in less than 24 hours, which is mental. And I've had loads of people messaging me saying how they're going to come to the World Final now, which is at Kings Lynn on the 19th of August, so make sure you're there. We should be on the front few rows. Probably, if I finish first in the points, I'll be on the front 2 rows, possibly. If I finish second in the points, then I'll be on the rows 3 to 4. So we'll be up there anyway, somewhere. That is going to be meeting of the year, I reckon. There's going to be carnage, absolutely carnage. 30 to 40 cars out there, all going for the gold roof. So make sure you're there anyway, 19th of August, Kings Lynn. So I've got 2 bits of 30 by 30 left to do, and the rubbing iron, and then cut a load of plates just to give that extra strength on a couple of the spots, and then weld it all up. That'll do for today. All the welding's done. I've just got a couple of plates to put on. I say a couple, probably about 6 or 8. How many did you cut? 8. 8 plates to put on just to strengthen it right up. I'll show you why, and whenever we get the Corsa back, because there's a bit of a thing on that where I think if a plate was on it, it would have fixed it, but that's for a later episode. Dad's just getting the drive shafts out the shocks off, ready for the gear change that we're going to do. And as he's been doing that, we just found out the bush on our bottom arm is popping out of there, which definitely wouldn't have been helping us.
The wheel would have been moving backwards and forwards, probably.
So that's another problem we found, as well as the loose axle that we found at Speed Weekend.
Needs to go on there.
Did you just touch that bumper?
Yeah. It didn't hurt me. It's hot though.
So,
You're gonna lean on it.
yeah, I'm not going to lean on that. So, as well as the axle being loose, we've also, our bush has gone in our bottom arm. So, Dad's just going to write that on the list as well. Probably need to make up another spare. I know we definitely got one spare, but that's going to be gone now if we can't fix that. So yeah, we'll call it a day there before Dad finds any more problems. I will.
Yeah, I'm in the mood for finding problems now.
Yeah. I should be here tomorrow. Well, I'm going to have to be. As you say, we're racing at Eastbourne, 26th of July on Wednesday. So that is the end of the episode. Anything to add, Papa?
Is that the end of the week, is it?
Yeah. Anything to add? End of the week. I like your t-shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, smart, isn't it?
If anyone wants one.
Bit of free merch.
Pay for that, didn't you?
Did I?
If anyone wants
I
a
paid for
t-shirt,
everything.
if anyone wants a t-shirt, let me know. Hit me up on Facebook, because we're going over to Ireland soon, and I need some money. I need some.
Need to pay for it.
Need some diesel money.
That's really expensive, isn't it?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll break down the cost, so everyone knows how much it is to go over to Ireland and race. At the end of, not that episode, I'll do it in the Tebbz Weekly. I'll break down the cost of how much everything costs to go over there. Diesel, hotels, boat.
Boat's expensive.
I'll save it for then anyway. But yeah, that is the end of the week. Sunday, 7:15. I've got a roast chicken waiting for me when I get in. If you do enjoy these, don't forget to like,
Share
comment,
and subscribe.
and we'll see you in the next one.